Goku with a tail. I've never seen that before.
So a lot of us have heard about this tier list that TheAnimeMens has created for the first episodes, and of course I had to watch the video, check it out myself, and looking at their final tier list just like everybody else, it is kind of a little bit absurd. So I'm gonna redo it, but unlike them, I'm gonna admit I don't have the time for it. Instead of just forcing my way through all these episodes, I'm going to be redoing the only ones that I have watched. I am giving them the benefit of the doubt though, because I feel like a lot of people see this tier list and then they immediately just be like, oh, what is this, right? Because a lot of people don't really mention that this is a first episode tier list. Still, this is a little whack. I also myself don't claim to be like the ultimate anime fan or anything, but I have watched anime my whole life. But one, I'm not on the level that I have watched every single anime ever. I've just watched a lot. And also now going into the explanation of what makes a very good first episode, if it has a great hook, like if it has you wondering certain things, wondering a certain amount of things, you want to know what's going to happen, right? Now that's different for a lot of people. Like everybody has a different preference of what makes a good first episode. I'm not super knowledgeable in like how anime and manga industry works, but the only knowledge I have from it is Bakuman. I don't know if anybody's watched that. Bakuman, same author as Death Note. I love Bakuman. I think it's super underrated. And for those who have seen it, you know that a first episode, especially back in the day, is really hard to even be made. Like it has to have a really good hook for it to even be made. So in my opinion, a lot of first episodes has to be good, but that's back in the day. I feel like the anime industry nowadays is different. That's why so many garbage shows is being made, especially like all these isekais, right? So it's changed for sure. So this is my tier list. It's about half of theirs, but these are all the ones that I've watched. I've excluded the ones where like Full Metal. I've only watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I didn't watch the OG Full Metal, so I didn't include that in here. Some other ones where I just don't really remember too much about it, so I just didn't include those. But this is about half, I think 29, I believe. So I'm gonna be going back and forth between their tier list and my tier list a lot. But the first thing, when I first saw this, like immediately the thing that popped up to me is Detective Conan. Detective Conan has one of the greatest first episodes, I think, ever. Conan's first episode I watched so many years ago, but I will always remember it because of how good it was. The gist of it, you meet Shinichi, this famous high school detective, and he's really good at solving crimes. Go into a little bit of his life, of his high school life, and then he goes on a date with Ron. On the date with Ron, they went on a roller coaster and a murder happens. He solves it, of course, because he's the ultimate detective and he's a genius. The introduction to the murders, especially from this first episode, is insane. Like this is one of the best things about Conan, is that their murders and mysteries you can kind of solve if you notice certain things. I'm not saying all of it, but and they're also unique. These murders are so freaking unique, and that first one is absolutely amazing. Ends off with the famous scene of Ron being like, oh, this is the last time I'm going to be seeing Shinichi, and Shinichi runs out because he notices something. And then another famous scene of Shinichi getting drugged, and then he turns into a kid, and then you're left wondering, what now? What is he gonna do now? Is he still gonna solve crime? How is he gonna turn back? There's just so many things so good about Conan's first episode, so them putting it in C is a little ridiculous to me, but I'm gonna put Conan easily in S. I really love Conan's first episode. I just think it's a genius first episode. So yeah, coming back to the tier list, I'm gonna go start from like the top to the bottom, but yeah, Conan, I just want to talk about immediately. That was just the first thing I noticed that was a little ridiculous. Conan's first episode was way too good to be just mid C tier. Okay, now let me explain a little bit of how my tier list works. I love the default tier list because visually it just makes sense, right? B to me is the mid tier. It's the middle line because visually it's easier to think of it like that. And then above that line is A, which is a little bit better than mid, and then S is like almost near perfection. C is lower than that middle line, so it's like getting bad, and then D is clearly just the worst. So that's a simple explanation of how my tier list works. So starting at the top here, they put Urusei Yatsura, which I watched the remake of, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. Berserk I have watched, and I do agree. I do think Berserk's first episode is really freaking good, especially for the time. Like you can say that there's a lot of things similar to the Berserk's first episode nowadays, but for the time, I think it is really good. It was super edgy. You're wondering who this Guts guy is, who is Griffith, this king of this castle is. You wonder what the mark on him is, the visions that he's seeing, the Beherit, how is he so strong? There's just so many questions in the first episode, and it's super interesting. Berserk, yep, I agree, S tier. Then they put Naruto in S tier, which I also agree with. I think just the first episode of Naruto has so many things you feel. The Nine Tails, how this kid is so lonely and is, you know, acting out his like relationship with Iruka sensei coming to save him, being the only person ever to show care for him, then him doing the like 1,000 or 100 clone jutsu at the end. It's a beautiful first episode. It just has an amazing hook. It just makes you want to watch more. I think Naruto is a really good first episode. Then they have Death Note in S, which, okay, again, I also agree. It is such a good first episode. The Death Note drops out of nowhere. Like Yagami, he was bored with his whole life, and then he finds the Death Note, and now tested it out. It works, meets Ryuk. It's a good first episode. Amazing hook. Death Note, also S for me. They put Attack on Titan also in S, and again, I also agree. I think it's just an amazing first episode. It led up to that final climactic ending amazingly. You get an introduction of like what these like corps do, the survey corps or whatever they're called, and then it leads up to the ending. A beautiful, amazing, great first hook of an episode. I'm just giving like gist of it here. Like there is definitely more to it, but like I feel like these series, like we all know that they have amazing hooks, so I'm just plopping it in S in terms of the first episodes. They put Tokyo Ghoul in S again. I also agree. It was such a banger of a first episode. I remember when I first watched it, like it was big for a reason. A normal kid goes on a date, ends up absolutely insane, turns into a ghoul, didn't realize it at first, starts eating normal food, doesn't understand why he doesn't like it, realize he's a ghoul, and yeah, absolutely crazy. You wonder what's gonna happen next. How is he gonna lead his life? He can't go back to his normal life. Like what the heck? It was definitely a really good first episode. Plopping it in S as well. Now this is when I don't agree with them. JJK in S, a little ridiculous. JJK first episode is not in S. The whole series is not in S. I love JJK. I freaking love JJK. I think it's definitely one of the better shows of nowadays, but JJK is definitely not by any chance like the best anime of all time. Even in the video, they kind of said that, but they said that the first episode was S tier. I really don't think so at all. I'm gonna put it in B for basic. It honestly could even be C, but for now, it'll be B. It's running off that trope of the first episode shock factor where the main character just happens to be strong and does something absurd like eating a finger. These first two shows, I'm not sure. I watched a video once, I forgot what these two shows were. Then they have Yu Yu Hakusho first episode in A. I think it's an S. I think they did recognize it, but I think it's generally an S. There's so much in the first episode, just so many emotions. This kid that starts off the episode with just dying out of nowhere, it goes into his life a bit leading up to how he died. He saved a kid, then when he dies, he doesn't really care about coming back to life. He's just like, everybody would just have such a better life without me, and my mom would have a better life without me, my friends and whatever don't really care too much about me. He goes to his wake, funeral, whatever, and he realizes that people care about him. His friend, his family, his mom, like they all want him to be alive. Like they don't want him dead. Everybody actually loves him, and even his rival still wants him to be alive to, you know, beat his ass before he dies. You can't just go dying before him. Putting Yu Yu Hakusho in S, I think is really good. Then they put the first episode of Slam Dunk in A. Now I really like Slam Dunk. I love Slam Dunk, but I also agree it's A. I don't think it reaches the S level. You learn about this delinquent, Sakuragi Hanamichi. He literally gets into basketball because of a girl, just wondering why why is he such a goof to just get into basketball because of a girl. It's a fun, good episode. In terms of the whole series, I would put the series in S, but for a first episode, I do think it's just A. We have Cowboy Bebop, and they put it in A. Now, I think it's an S. I think it's a great S, especially for the time what Cowboy Bebop was. It was legitimately a miniature movie. The sound was amazing. The art was amazing. The animation was freaking amazing. Basically a movie in the first episode. I think it's S. Now, One Piece in A. I have to say, I agree. I love One Piece. One Piece is my favorite series of all time. Like no other show comes even freaking close. It's a very good episode, but it's not too much. You meet Luffy, you meet Kobe. Luffy does some gum moves. Everybody's surprised that he has gum powers, declares to be king of the pirates. You meet Alvida, you meet Nami too. Actually, I almost forgot. It's the fun first good episode. It's definitely a good first episode, but I don't think it reaches S. So they did Full Metal, the OG Full Metal, which I didn't watch, so I'm not going to talk about it. I only watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Mushishi, my friend, tried so hard to get me to watch it. I was watching something else at the time. I don't know. I just never watched it. Gurren Lagann, I guess I'm also a fake fan. I haven't watched it yet. So many people have tried to get me to watch it. Fairy Tail I have watched. They put Fairy Tail in A, which I very much don't agree with. I love Fairy Tail, by the way. Like Fairy Tail has like mixed feelings, I feel, for some people. Some people love it, some people hate it. I think it's a very generic first episode. Similar to JJK, you meet Natsu, you meet Lucy. They're both goofy, funny things happen, and then at the end you realize Lucy could fight, and then Natsu is really freaking strong. It's just a very one of those generic ones, very similar to JJK. It's just basic, generic. Again, both of these could go down. If I feel something is like very much B, these two are definitely going down, but we'll see. Hunter x Hunter, I watched this when I was a kid, and I'm actually rewatching it right now. I'm at the end of Green Island right now. I can't wait for Chimera, and I just really remember loving that arc. But the thing with Hunter x Hunter and the first episode, I did not like the beginning of Hunter x Hunter. I thought the examination arc, I didn't like that. I don't think the first episode was that good either. It might be a hot take, but I just generally think the Hunter examination is the worst arc. Saying that though, I love Hunter x Hunter, at least everything after the examination arc. I love Hunter x Hunter. I'm enjoying my rewatch so much right now. I can't wait for the Chimera Ant arc. Don't like the first episode that much, but it's still a very fun and interesting first episode with like going meeting all of them on the boat, how the boat became like the first start of the examination arc. Him starting on the whale island and whatever. Now here we go. I generally think Hunter x Hunter first episode is a B tier, but it's a better B tier. So I generally believe these two needs to come down. I think these two are way too generic. But I love Hunter x Hunter as much as I love JoJo. That's a lot. JoJo is my top 3 favorite animes, but I'm not a big fan of that first part. They got Sword Art Online in A. Now Sword Art Online, notorious for many reasons, but I generally remember loving season 1 of Sword Art. I think it's like one of the best things ever. It started a whole generation of like isekais and like gaming world and whatnot, and the first episode was such a hook. It was a hook and a freaking half. Like nothing's ever been done similar to Sword Art up to that point, I don't think. And now we have like 20 billion series that is pretty much Sword Art. First episode of Sword Art, absolutely freaking amazing. I think like they went into this game that was super hyped up. Everybody wants to be in it. They played it. Turns out, boom, they're stuck in the game. They die in the game. They die in real life. Never before seen, never before done. Amazing first episode. I think Sword Art is an S tier in terms of the first episodes. Black Clover in A, I do not agree with. I think it's pretty generic. It's very cool. World of Magic, they went to get their grimoires. Yuno gets the ultimate grimoire. That gets the like thought to be useless grimoire. Turns out to be a pretty cool grimoire, and it's just like main characters getting like cool powers and then exerting that power at the end of the episode. Very generic in my opinion. I don't think it's that good. It's like B, C for me. I can't really decide. I think it's B. I think it's a little bit more interesting than these two. Chainsaw Man in A, I think is a little ridiculous. I think Chainsaw Man has one of the greatest freaking hooks of all freaking time. There's been a lot of like pop-up series that like I was just like, whoa, like this anime is so good. But up until Chainsaw Man, it was a long time where I just read something or watched something where I was like, whoa, like this is really freaking good, especially the hook. Chainsaw Man's hook is absolutely freaking amazing. You meet Denji, who's dying basically because he has to work, he has no family, he's living in absolute dumpster, gets betrayed, fused with Pochita, turns into Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man's hook first episode is absolutely amazing. Chainsaw Man S, amazing. Free Ren first episode in A. I like Free Ren. I don't love Free Ren. I know people who love Free Ren. I am definitely on the side that Free Ren should have won Anime of the Year over Solo Leveling, but in my opinion, Anime of the Year for that year, I voted for Apothecary. I really like Apothecary. And the first episode of Free Ren, I think it's pretty good, almost really good. I don't think it's S tier, but I kind of agree it's A tier. It's really good. You get Free Ren with the group. Time passes. Himmel dies, feelings, she meets Fern. It's a really fun episode. Maybe fun isn't the word, but unique hook, emotional hook. Yeah, it's a pretty good first episode. Fist of North Star, sorry, I'm a fake fan. Haven't watched it yet. Ranma and a Half, I watched the remake. I don't know how accurate it is to the first episode, so I'm not gonna talk about it. But if it's the same as a remake, it's pretty good. But I'm just not gonna talk about it. Violet Evergarden, yes, I'm sorry, I'm a fake fan. I really should be watching this. I have not yet, I'm sorry. Demon Slayer episode 1 in B tier. I think it's a little bit better than B. I think it reaches an A. It's a strong hook. Things happen, family dying, trying to turn sister back, don't know what to do, lost Tanjiro, has no powers. I think that's the key that makes this really good, is that you begin with Tanjiro, who doesn't know how to fight, and like you're really wondering what the heck he's gonna do. I don't love it, but I think it's better than B. I think it's an A. Horimiya in B. I love Horimiya. I remember I read the series like years before it became an anime. I think it had an OVA episodes like before then. The series is also the series that is like the most shocking when it became an anime, right? Because everybody's hair that you thought was gonna be a certain color, you're wrong. You're wrong. The hair color did not match what you thought the hair color would be at all. I will always remember that. I generally think this is a really good freaking first episode. Like there's not really much to explain about it, but you meet them for a little bit. They're in high school, kind of get a gist of who they are as a character. Outside of school, you learn that these two are completely like different than what they appear to be in school. Not completely, but they're just certain personalities, especially Miyamura, right? But I just think it's a really strong hook. It definitely makes you want to watch more. It's very like the opposite of all of these other S's, but I think it's generally a really good hook for what it is, like a slice of life romance, rom-com, whatever you want to call it. Solo Leveling first episode, and in the video they said that the second episode was better and that the first episode just was a cliffhanger. That's what makes a good first episode, is that the cliffhanger is that strong, makes you want to click on the second episode. That is what makes a very good first episode in my opinion. Now I have many opinions on Solo Leveling. My main opinion that could be a hot take is Solo Leveling. The worst thing that happened to Solo Leveling was that it became an anime. Before it, just as a famous manhwa, if you talk to anybody about Solo Leveling, they will hype you the F up. Like if you were into Solo Leveling before the anime, like it was the best thing ever. And then my thing with the anime is that the anime's art is just not as good as the manhwa. It's just not. And also the thing with it becoming an anime is that now that it's split, especially it winning over Frieren, it has this like split community now of people being like, oh, you're into Solo Leveling? That's kind of mid. Or, oh, I'm into Solo Leveling. It's the best freaking series ever. It's just, like I said, the worst thing that happened to Solo Leveling is that it got an anime. Genuinely, I believe that wholeheartedly. That's the worst thing that's ever happened to Solo Leveling. But I think the first episode is good, and I don't think it's like mid B. I think it's a little bit better than that. It builds on a really good chunk of the world. You meet this weakling Sung Jin Woo. Now they're trapped. You're wondering what the heck they're gonna do. It leaves you out with such a good cliffhanger, because everybody there cannot get out of their room. Makes you click on the second episode, which is, I think, amazing. I'm gonna put it in A. I think it's pretty good. Dororo, I haven't watched it. I know it got a remake, right? But the OG I definitely haven't watched. Ashita no Joe, I watched Hajime no Ippo, but not yet Ashita no Joe. That one with the girl I don't know. Gundam, I have not watched the OG. I'm sorry, I've watched other Gundams though. I watched Double O, I watched Iron Blooded Orphans, I watched Ariel. I love Iron Blooded Orphans, like generally one of my favorite animes of all time, Iron Blooded Orphans, but sorry I haven't watched the OG one. Captain Tsubasa, I generally think is a fun first episode. It's not amazing by any means, but I think it's a little bit better than C. Overall, the series is a really good series. I do like it, but yeah, I think the first episode is a little bit better. It's this kid that's just dribbling around soccer everywhere, and even just that idea itself, you can imagine that he's gonna become a great soccer player. Like, you know how like when character does like some weird habit and you know that the habit is gonna build up to something later, like it's super interesting to me. Tomato, I think it's still like mid-ish. Like it's not bad. Again, B is not bad, but I don't think it's like amazing like compared to these other A's. City Hunter, sorry, have not watched. Sailor Moon, again, sorry, I've not watched. I know. Evangelion in C is a little ridiculous to me. I'm not even that big of an Evangelion fan. I do recognize that it's good. I actually never finished it. I'm like halfway through it. I will finish it eventually. But I think the first episode is pretty good. It's definitely way better than C. I don't know what they're talking about. You meet monsters, you meet mechs, like so much stuff. He has to pilot a mech at the end. Like, come on. If you're wondering why I'm not a big Evangelion fan, I'm not big into mech animes. Like even Gundam, I got into a little bit of it. I don't know. I'm not a big mech person. It's definitely an A though. Some people might even put it in S, but personally I'm putting it as an A. Conan, we already talked about. Hellsing, sorry, I haven't watched it. I'm a big fan. Bleach, I love Bleach. I definitely think it's better than C. I don't think it's the best thing ever though. I think it's a good first episode. You meet Rukia, you meet Hollows, he becomes a Shinigami. It's an okay episode. It's just another one of those like, oh, main character gets superpowers. Yeah, I love Bleach. I personally love Bleach, but yeah, I think the first episode is also kind of eh. I'm gonna put it in B. It's a good first episode. It's something about it. It could be in C if I'm explaining things right from my earlier explanation. It could maybe even be in C, but I think it's slightly better than JJK and Fairy Tail's first episode. Toradora. Now, at the time I watched this, I didn't think anything of it. I didn't realize people love it until recent years. Actually, I didn't realize people love it that much. I thought it was just gonna be another like seasonal anime that I watched like years ago, so I don't remember much about it, so I'm not gonna talk about it. One Punch Man C, I don't agree with this. I'm nowhere near a One Punch Man fan. I don't really care for One Punch Man. I think it just kind of got boring after the gimmick died out. But I definitely don't think the first episode is C. It's definitely way better than C. The reason why it became so big, because just the concept of it, the first episode of him training to be One Punch Man, him the gag of him just one punching things. It's funny, it's unique, it's a really good first episode in my opinion. Through sheer comedy and uniqueness of it, I think it's an S tier. It's a banger of a first episode for sure. And I'm speaking from someone that's not even a big fan of One Punch Man. Like, I wouldn't even call myself a fan of One Punch Man. I just don't really care for One Punch Man, but it was definitely a really good first episode. My Hero Academia in C, I think it's a little bit higher than that. You get introduced into this world. People have quirks, very unique quirks, and the main character, Deku, doesn't have quirk. You're wondering what the heck he's gonna do. He's getting bullied by freaking Kachan the whole goddamn episode. Deku himself almost freaking dies. Meet All Might, and then like it leads into that he might get powers. And I think it's a really good first episode. It just starts you out with like such a good introduction to the world, to the characters, how wacky they are, how weird this world is. And yeah, I think it's a good first episode. I'm putting it in A. Sakamoto Days in C. I think Sakamoto Days just has that, like, similar to JoJo and Hunter x Hunter for me. Like the beginning of it, it's kind of slowy, it's kind of draggy, but then it picks up. Like when it picks up, it picks up. But I think the first episode is pretty good though. Like the rest of the first season is kind of whatever, but I think the first episode itself, it's a really good introduction. Like these assassins, this fat dude that just gave up on being an assassin, different assassin comes in to try to kill him. Shin still can't do anything about it. Even if he gained weight and lost his waist, he's still got it. And then yeah, it's just, I think it's a good first episode. I think it's an A level. I think it's a pretty unique first episode. Okay, so this Lion series I've definitely seen before. Never watched it though. A Speed Racer, never watched it. Lupin, sorry, never watched it. I know I should. Watch the remake Devilman. I love that. I don't know how similar it is, but I love the like Netflix Devilman Crybaby. Maybe I'll watch the OG eventually. This mech anime, I don't know what it is. Is it Mazinger Z? Because if it's Mazinger Z, my dad loves Mazinger Z, but I don't know anything about Mazinger Z, so don't know. Dragon Ball in D is absolutely insane. Again, with their whole take of why Goku has a freaking tail, also absolutely insane. I don't love Dragon Ball. It's a fun series. Dragon Ball to me, I always explain it as like, it's just a fun series. You turn your brain off and you just watch people just pew each other, like, you know? But it's so weird. How do you not know Goku had a tail? Like, I guess they just didn't watch Dragon Ball, just any type of Dragon Ball, because even in Dragon Ball Z, they explain that Saiyans have tail. Or maybe you've even seen a picture of Goku having a tail. What? I'm so confused. But the first episode isn't unique by any means, but it's really fun. It was a really fun first episode, which I feel like people forget. It doesn't have to always be emotional and deep. It doesn't have to always be edgy. It doesn't have to be action oriented. Like it could just be simply fun. And I think the first episode of Dragon Ball is really fun. I generally think it's an S level fun. It's just purely because of fun. Even the fantasy world in these type of anime nowadays isn't similar to Dragon Ball. I don't know. Inuyasha, yes, I know. Fake fan. Sorry, I haven't watched it yet. Yeah. Angel Beats, I put it in my tier list, but I don't know if I want to talk about this because I generally don't remember it. I watched it so long ago. I remember it being good. Back then, in terms of sad anime, I was more of a fan of Anohana. I really like Anohana. I don't know why. I think it was just more chill and I don't know. I don't know if it's more sad, but I liked Anohana in terms of sad animes. But I remember Angel Beats was really unique and fun and good, but I don't really remember what the first episode is. So I decided it's in the tier list, but I'm not going to talk about it. I don't remember it, so I'm not going to talk about it. I will say, I do not believe it's D. It's definitely not D. For it to be popular, for it to make me watch it so much back then and talk about it with my friends, it's definitely, I don't remember it being a D. It's definitely way higher than a D. I don't know why it's a D. Then most of these Fs I haven't watched. Astro Boy, Boyatom, whatever you want to call him. My dad also loved it. I watched episodes here and there. I don't remember much about it at all, but I feel like it was not an F. For it to be what it is now, I definitely don't think that it's an F even as a first episode. Now this was a shocker. Doraemon an F. I don't remember the first episode, but I love Doraemon. Like I grew up with Doraemon. I grew up with Shin-chan. I love Doraemon. There's so many gadgets I can remember at the top of my head. The flashlight that shrunk and enlarged things, the time cloth, the table that Doraemon comes from, bread that they did math on. Oh yeah, it's like you eat the bread and you remember things. So many things from Doraemon. I love Doraemon, man. I grew up with Doraemon. But let me quickly glance at the first episode because I don't really remember it. It might be bad, but I doubt it. Okay, so I think I found what they watch, and okay, sure, from this clip, it's probably, yeah, an F tier. But the thing is that this wasn't the first episode. It's not just slideshows. Like they mentioned in the video that it was just slideshows. With a little bit of research that I just looked up, the first episode cannot be found. I looked everywhere. You cannot really find this first episode, but from the slideshow, if you skim through here, it is, you can recognize this episode with like a remake they made later. So basically what happens that Doraemon comes, and then he also comes with the future Nobita, not future Nobita, but like his grandson that looks exactly like him. There is a remake of this episode somewhere. It might be the first episode of like one of the remakes. I don't remember. Doraemon has so many like different types of episodes. Nobita gets introduced to the like helicopter thing and gadgets. There's Giant and Suneo. I think that's their name. I forgot. And yeah, it's definitely not this. Now I understand that if they watched this and thought this was the first episode, it's definitely an F. But this is just snippets from the first episode because you cannot find the first episode anywhere anymore. So understandably why they put Doraemon in F, but since I kind of vaguely remember the first episode from watching a different thing, I think it's a great first episode, so I'm putting it up. I'm putting Doraemon in S. Might be biased, but I love Doraemon. I think it's a great... You get introduced to Doraemon, to Nobita, what type of person Nobita is. So yeah, I ranked 28 from the things that I do remember and do recall, which is almost half of theirs. I think they did like around 60, maybe almost even 70, so like a little bit less than half. But yeah, I don't have time to watch all of them, and clearly they didn't have time to watch all of them either, so I don't know why they bother to do it if they weren't gonna actually watch it. But this is my tier list. Some of the stuff in there is similar to theirs, but I feel like I changed a decent amount around. But yeah, I don't know, y'all tell me, is my list acceptable? On second thought, I think maybe Sakamoto Days is B. Okay, now tell me, is my list acceptable? I mean, I'm always gonna be like looking at it and probably change things later here and there depending on, you know, my train of thought, right? But I don't know, I like this a little bit more than what they put some of these certain series in their tier list. Clearly I haven't watched a lot of classics either. Lupin haven't watched, Inuyasha haven't watched, Speed Racer, Astro Boy haven't watched, OG Gundam haven't watched. Sorry, guess I'm a fake fan. Okay, so I'm recording this while I was editing because I realized I think y'all would like it if I show you side by side the difference. So this is my tier list, and then this is their tier list, and then I edit out all the ones that I didn't watch just so that y'all can see like side by side the difference. It's like kind of similar. I think the difference is like I put some of theirs down, and then a lot of the stuff they put down I put up. So yeah, just looking at these two, tell me what y'all think, which one y'all agree with more, or you agree with neither. Maybe I'm just stupid as well. I don't know. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And I just want to talk about a couple things as well. Like, I feel like a lot of people forget that this is a first episode tier list, because again, when people were like passing it around on like TikTok, Twitter, whatever it was, I thought it was just a normal anime tier list. And with certain circumstances like Doraemon not being able to find the first episode, it's a little hard for them to do whatever, right? I hope the anime men, at least fixes some of their absurd takes, actually watch this series. And yeah, I get it. They are kind of like this new gen of anime where they do have low attention span, like watching things in 2x speed and whatnot, right? They weren't really watching it, looking on their phones while watching it, and they didn't even give some of the series actual chances. And yeah, they just had absurd takes on things that they watched, like Astro Boy or like even Conan. But I don't know. I don't really know if it's right to call them like fake fans or like tourists or whatever, because at the end of the day, they do enjoy anime. It's just not the like overall variety of OG anime and new animes, I don't watch all their videos, so I don't know. But yeah, this new video that they did release, it did come off as like they are pretending for the video majority of the times, but it does seem like they do watch like at least all the new gen series, right? It is a little annoying of their absurd takes and like how they're not OG fans, but I generally don't really care. I talked about something similar in another video, is that there is a new gen of One Piece fans, like people who don't even watch any other anime, but they watch One Piece. In that terms, they would be fake anime fans because they don't watch anything else other than One Piece. And they might even be quote unquote fake One Piece fans, but that's a whole different video I talked about. In my opinion, those people are not fake anime fans or even fake One Piece fans. They just enjoy the thing, and that's why One Piece became popular, more popular and more popular, because of these people who only just even watch One Piece, right? All the sports fans who became One Piece fans because of all the sports One Piece collabs, like sure, they're technically fake One Piece fans, but I don't see the bad side in that. One Piece became popular because of it. But that's it. Let me know what y'all think, and yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.